Welcome back to Peak Performance Guitar's Beginner Lead Guitar course. I am Dean K. Today we're going to learn putting the hammer-on and the pull-off together in the same exercise or also for playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the E Pentatonic Minor scale that I taught you all the way back in the first lesson. We're going to play that without picking. So I pick with my right hand. My right hand is going to be up here the entire time. And what we're going to do is we are going to play the E Pentatonic Minor scale with only hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now, it doesn't sound like music, and it's not supposed to, because this is an exercise. This is an exercise to get you practicing and learning how to put these together. So it starts with a hammer-on with our third finger onto the third fret of the first string. We start by hammering onto that G note and then pulling off to the E note. We do the same thing with the second string. We hammer onto the third fret, the D note, on the second string, and we pull off to the B. Okay? And then we're going to do the next three strings with our second finger on the second fret. So we're going to hammer onto the A of the G string on the second fret with our second finger and pull off to the G. And then we'll hammer on to the second fret of the fourth string, which is the E, and pull off to the D. Then we'll hammer on to the A string, to the B note on the A string, the second fret, with our second finger, and we'll pull off to the A. And then we'll hammer on with our third finger again on the low E on the third fret, that G note, and pull off to the low E. That's the first half. The second half is that low E is already playing, and we're going to hammer back onto the G, and then we're just going to move on and hammer on to the B, pull off to the A, hammer on to the E on the fourth string, pull off to the D. On the third string, hammer on to the A, and pull off to the G. On the second string, hammer on to the D note, pull off to the B. And then on the E string, high E string back there again, we're going to hammer on to the G note and pull off to the E. And what's going to happen is all the strings are going to be ringing at once, so it doesn't really sound good. But that's not the point for this exercise. For this exercise, it's practicing hammer-ons and pull-offs at the same time. And you do this maybe 10 times a day, so you're practicing the scale and you're practicing the hammer-on and pull-off at the same time. All right? So that's the first exercise for putting them together. The second exercise, I'm going to need my pick, and we're going to have, for this exercise, it's very much like the finger exercises that we learned in beginner guitar. First finger is going to be on the first fret, second finger is going to be on the second fret, always, no matter what string it's on. Third finger on the third fret, fourth finger on the fourth fret. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first finger on the first fret, we're going to pick that F note, and we're going to hammer on to F sharp, and do a pull off back to F. And then we'll do the same with our first finger staying on the F, and we're going to hammer on to G this time. Did you hear that I missed? And then we're going to do the same thing with our pinky. All right? And we're going to move on to string 3, string 2. And then string 3. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say for the first 2 weeks that's all you do. Strings 1, 2, and 3. And then after 2 weeks, start adding strings 3, 4, 5, and 6. And these take a lot more strength. You have to manipulate your hand a little bit more to be able to pull these off. All right, and that's why I want you to practice just the first 2 weeks on strings 1, 2, and 3 before you move on to 4, 5, and 6. And eventually, after say practicing this for maybe a month, and you're practicing on all 6 strings, then you want to move to a metronome, and you want to start playing in time with the metronome. So it's going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just like that on all 6 strings. That's the second exercise. So the first one is E minor pentatonic with just hammer-ons and pull-offs. Little fun, easy exercise, and then putting them all together and doing it with the metronome. All right? That pinky really needs some work, doesn't it? Not really. I'm never going to use it, so I don't bother practicing with it a whole lot. And that's the second exercise, putting the hammer-ons and pull-offs together. It's going to take a little work. Your hand's going to get tired, but that doesn't last long. Okay, and you're going to love having this tool at your disposal anytime you want, and it doesn't take long. A month, maybe 6 weeks, and your hand will be in fantastic shape. You'll be able to use these anywhere, anytime, and it adds a huge dimension to your playing that you can't get any other way. So that's putting the hammer-ons and the pull-offs together. That's like lesson 8 in our beginner lead guitar series. So have fun with that. Play with it all over the neck. You're going to enjoy it. Thank you for joining me here on Peak Performance Guitar Channel's beginner lead guitar course. I am Dean K. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, have fun and make music.